Improvement opportunities rarely announce themselves. They show up in what people feel, wait for, work around, and quietly accept every single day. If you want to improve man and mindset, start by noticing the human experience of work, not just the output at the end. Through the lens of supervision, that means seeing two things at once: encouragement that helps people grow, and control that keeps standards visible. Strong supervision builds every team members and the team's culture, readiness, commitment, involvement, and meticulousness. Begin with customer value. Can people clearly explain who the customer is, what matters to them, and how today's work creates that value? Supervision should make those opportunities visible through encouragement and control. Notice whether people speak with meaning and engagement or whether they're simply complying, and watch for missing self-motivation in plain sight: passivity, low initiative, disengaged body language, waiting to be told, and doing only the minimum. When teams stay busy producing reports, approvals, or features nobody uses, that isn't commitment. It's a signal that effort has drifted away from value. Look for downtime and friction in plain sight. People waiting for decisions, materials, logins, or approvals are showing you where flow breaks down. Through encouragement, supervision should remove barriers and support readiness. Through control, it should notice repeated waiting, approvals bottlenecks, uneven workload, and constant firefighting. And when people don't escalate, don't prepare, or don't follow through unless pushed, that's a visible signal of missing self-motivation too. Notice the extra walking, searching, and switching between tasks. That movement often means the process is asking people to compensate for poor design. And if the day feels like non-stop firefighting, with some people overloaded while others wait, that's not normal work. That's waste wrapped around human effort. Some of the strongest signals are emotional. If people hesitate because they're afraid of mistakes, blame, or escalation, the system is teaching caution instead of confidence. Supervision should see that through both encouragement and control. Notice withdrawal, silence in problem solving, low energy, reduced care for details, avoidance of responsibility, and a tendency to blame systems or others. These are signs of missing self-motivation, and strong supervision responds by building trust, commitment, involvement, and accountability. Frustration with systems, constant overload, and the feeling that every promise might slip all point to work that isn't predictable enough for people to succeed calmly. When results depend on a few heroes who rescue the day, you're not seeing strength, you're seeing risk that has been normalized. Strong visual management makes work readable fast. Supervision strengthens culture and readiness through both encouragement and control. Encouragement helps teams use visuals to take ownership. Control confirms that standards, abnormalities, and priorities are visible to everyone within about 10 seconds. Then ask what standardized work looks like here. Encouragement in supervision builds understanding and capability. Control checks whether standards are followed consistently, whether steps are skipped, and whether people rely too much on memory or one expert's unwritten method. When shortcuts appear, routines become inconsistent, or care for detail drops, you're also seeing weak self-motivation and weak discipline in the process. Listen for recurring mistakes and repeated lessons that never get captured. When the same problem teaches the same lesson twice, or cross-training stays weak, supervision should respond with both coaching and follow-up. These are signals about readiness, commitment, and involvement. And if people show little curiosity to learn, low participation in improvement, or reluctance to share lessons, that's a visible sign of weak self-motivation too. Watch the handoffs too. Supervision should see visible opportunities here through both encouragement and control. Incomplete communication, unclear ownership, and repeated clarifications all weaken team culture and commitment. And when people fail to close loops, show up poorly prepared for handoffs, or respond slowly, you're often seeing missing self-motivation in plain sight. And pay close attention to safety and error-proofing. If people need shortcuts to cope, or if errors are simply too easy to make, improvement is urgently needed. And when supervision is part of the picture, it helps to look at delegation and accountability too. The 5 levels give you a practical way to spot where support, ownership, and follow-through may need to improve. And this is where supervision becomes easier to read. The way work is delegated and the way accountability is held, tells you a lot about what people and teams are truly ready to carry. At one end, leaders tell. Then they explain, consult, agree together, and finally fully entrust. If a team keeps getting stuck at one level, that often points to a gap in capability, clarity, trust, or ownership. So when you watch daily work, don't only ask who did the task. Ask what level of delegation was possible and what that reveals about the human side of improvement. Once you've looked at delegation and accountability, another set of supervision opportunities tends to come into focus. Manual reporting, repeated data entry, and endless follow-up work often drain energy that people could spend solving real problems and serving customers better. These workarounds can also hide low involvement, low readiness, and reduced motivation. Through encouragement, supervisors support problem solving. Through control, they check where people are silently compensating instead of improving the system. So go and observe with curiosity. Visible improvement opportunities in man and mindset are not only waiting, stress, weak standards, and poor handoffs. They're also what supervision can see through encouragement and control. Look for culture, readiness, commitment, involvement, and meticulousness in both individuals and teams. And pay close attention to visible signs of missing self-motivation. That's where real improvement starts.